the name Veggi Beats actually came from something my friends used to call me, which was No Veggie Trevi.
What? What's up everyone? Celine here from Sidewalk and today we're with Veggi.
Yo, what's up guys?
So tell me about your background. I know you grew up in the Long Beach area. What was that like?
Yeah, so I grew up like mainly in the Long Beach area, born and raised there. Yeah, it was just really chill, you know, it's just kind of like where I grew up mainly. Oh, sorry if it's kind of like narrow here.
No, it's fine. I have like a bush I'm about to hit.
That's okay.
Because it's very laid back there, right? It's like the beach.
Yeah,
like
no,
chill.
seriously, like I've been coming up to LA a lot more recently now that I've been doing music full time. But yeah, like being in Long Beach definitely feels like I love LA, but I feel like Long Beach is a nice reprieve from like just, you know, the hustle and bustle, like the city and stuff.
When did you start listening to electronic music or getting into the whole music scene?
Yeah, so I've actually been doing music like since 4th grade. Yeah, like I've been doing music, so like I picked up the saxophone, the tenor saxophone in 4th grade.
Were you in band?
Yeah, I was in like every band imaginable. Like I was in concert band, jazz band.
Wow.
I did drumline for a little bit in high school.
Wow.
So yeah, I was doing instruments and like just playing a bunch of instruments. And then it wasn't until like college when I picked up I like bought my first laptop and then started making music and doing beats and stuff, and yeah, it was sick. And I actually like started doing like real like, you know, like just EDM, like doing big room house, tropical houses, because I was kind of into it at the time. And yeah, it was fun. And but I don't know, like after that it was so I'm kind of jumping back and forth here. Yeah, so after I graduated high school, I went to Cal State Long Beach for like a year, and that's like during the time when I got my first laptop and started doing the whole big room house thing and just kind of trying to make whatever bootleg remixes I could do. And yeah, it wasn't until when I transferred to MTSU out in Nashville.
Oh.
Nashville. Plot twist. Yeah, no, I went to Nashville for like 3 years and finished out my undergrad there, and studied music business. So yeah, it was like there when I really started to kind of switch up like my music style, and you know, I started making beats and kind of going in the hip hop lane. But then after I graduated, get back in frame here. After I graduated, I just kind of got back into this lane of like electronic, but in more of like a, I don't know, just kind of like more hip hop and indie like dance
lo-fi
influence.
Chill,
yeah. So I don't know, like, and here we are.
Wow. And what programs were you using when you first started out?
So I started with technically in high school with like, we had like school issued iPads. And and so all the iPads came with GarageBand.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of doing like stuff on there and like, you know, just kind of fucking around. And then when I got my laptop is when I picked up Ableton and started doing all that. So yeah, I've been using Ableton since like, I don't know, like forever pretty much.
What kind of music did you listen to growing up, or like who are your favorite artists?
Sure. Well, like growing up is funny because like the music that I was exposed to as a child was not like what I listen to now. Like, I mean, my parents, we listened to a lot of like country music and stuff. Yeah.
So Nashville was kind of like,
so it felt like okay, like somewhat of a fit, but like I'm not like, you know, I'm not really into country music like that. Like I feel like I've kind of grown out of it, but but no, like I mean, some of my like, you know, I've just found a lot of, you know, my music taste and just like inspiration like on my own, and through the help of just other people that I've met. Yeah. But like, yeah, like some of my current inspirations right now are like Kate Tronada, Tori Moa, Flume, Neon Indian, Just to name a few, maybe SG Lewis, throw it in there.
I just saw SG Lewis live on Friday.
Oh, no way, at the
Greek Theater.
Yeah, the Greek Theater. That's so sick.
So good.
Yeah, I saw little clips on TikTok.
Yeah.
Seemed really cool.
And so in 2019, you started TikTok. Were you still in school at the time, or were you just working? What were you doing for work?
Yeah, so let's see, 2019, I graduated. Okay, yeah, I guess. So I graduated college in 2019, and sorry, this walking
like
thing is so fun. It's like so new.
You have to think, and you have to walk, and you have to multitask.
Yeah, no, for real. So no, it was like, so I graduated in like May of 2019, and then from college, and then came back here.
Okay.
And that's when I picked up TikTok, and it was very on and off. But it wasn't until the pandemic when I really started to pick up the content, especially on TikTok. And then
you had a video that went viral.
Yeah. I was just doing like producer memes or whatever. I thought that was just gonna resonate with people, and it was kind of hit or miss. But yeah, it wasn't until I did this Mashups idea where I thought like, oh my god, like, I was just fucking around like on the decks and just like, and then I put like that Bobby Shmurda song next to Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
And and I was like, wow, this is so incredibly cursed. Like, and then I just the name Mashups That Should Be Illegal just kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, this is funny. So yeah, that was like the very first one. Posted that, and yeah, it got like 1 million hits after like 2 days or something, and I was like, oh my god, okay, we're gonna continue doing this.
Yeah. Damn. And when did you start taking TikTok more seriously? After that viral video, or was it like as you kept going?
Yeah, it was like, it was definitely after that video where I was like, okay, wow, like this is something I could continue doing and just focusing on, because like Veggi Beats at that time, like I was doing little beat videos. I had like a little beat store. I was just kind of doing like whatever, that sort of thing. And there's nothing wrong with that, and it was cool. I didn't feel like I had much traction or like much of like, too much of a dedicated audience.
Yeah.
And like this Mashups thing was taken to the next level. So yeah, after that I really felt like, okay, let's double down on this TikTok thing.
Yeah, I remember during COVID there were so many like people doing mashups and like doing mixes and stuff, and like everyone was just going viral since it was such a new platform.
Right.
That's crazy.
No, seriously. And it was cool. It was also cool to meet like other people who are in that same space as me. Because like, I met other people like Kuz, who was also, he got big from doing mashups as well, like during the pandemic. And it was cool to meet, someone like him who was in the same lane.
Yeah. Wow. And when did you start producing your own music?
Ooh, my own music? Started producing my own music, like officially releasing stuff, it was like 2019, I think. Yeah, I made like certain like mixtapes that are that I released on SoundCloud. I don't think they're on there anymore, but that dates back to like 2017.
Yeah.
But that was back in like the Hump My Heart electronic days. Like, I was studying the recording industry.
Yeah.
Thinking like, oh, maybe I'll be like an artist manager. Maybe I'll be like I had an internship with this one artist manager in Los Feliz like in 2018. So I was just doing a bunch of different stuff, and somehow I ended up being an artist.
Wow. That's crazy. How do you think TikTok has changed from then and now?
Well, that's a great question, because like I feel like between TikTok in 2020, it was definitely different than it is now, because I think there's a lot more people on there, and there's a lot more like the spotlight's kind of the same size as it was in 2020. It's just now there's a bunch of different people like kind of quote unquote fighting for it, and there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. It just causes you to kind of roll with the punches, or at least kind of like keep up with the times and figure out like, oh, like what kind of content is going to continue like engaging with my audience, what kind of content is going to like kind of cut through the noise and be like, oh yeah, like like my fans are still vibing with this kind of stuff.
What would you say is the best way to build up a loyal fan base, since you're talking about your fans like vibing with?
Sure. I think of course, like the most cliche thing to say is like be yourself, but like it's so important.
Yeah.
It's so important. And like in the early days of when I started going big on TikTok, I haven't been doing it as much, but I used to go live every Friday, and I was DJing and doing like hour-long sets. And after that, I would like just paste a little Zoom link in like the chat or whatever, and then like I would have almost like a virtual meet and greet after.
Oh, cute.
And like I got to talk to my fans like directly, and there were, you know, there were people from like Cincinnati and like Pennsylvania, and it was just like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's like important to, you know, engage with your fans directly as much as you can, and not out of like necessity, but out of like, you know, like I wanted to do that, you know, because it's like I wanted to really like, you know, I saw all these follower counts going up, but it's like who are these people? I want to like know them, you know, I want to meet them.
So you said you don't do this as much anymore. What would you say your focus is mostly on now?
Yeah, my focus mainly is like well, it's a combination of things, like is, you know, whether it's just like making general content, making music, you know, like just other remixes and stuff. Like it can get kind of convoluted, but yeah, I'm starting to bring it back though. Like I've been trying to find times to like do it, you know, at like certain hours that like maybe most people are like awake or something. So yeah.
How do you divide your time between social media and content creation versus making music? Like, what does your time management look like?
Ooh, yeah, good question. This way, yeah. It kind of depends on how I'm feeling each week, TBH. But like, yeah, between like doing content and music, like music just kind of happens when it happens. Like if I'm doing like a content piece, I'll usually schedule that stuff out. I try to schedule out time for music as well, but most of the time when I'm creating music, it's just kind of like on a whim, or like I have time blocked up in the studio and I'm just kind of like working on whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I love that. I love that music for me just comes so organically, and I'm not trying to like, you know, be like, okay, I gotta do X, Y, and Z and make, you know, make a banger or something. So
going off like music producers, a lot of like music producers you met on TikTok and whatnot. Do you think TikTok is the future in how new music gets discovered and like getting signed and becoming an artist?
I mean, yeah, I definitely think it's like the hottest thing right now that's like, you know, allowing new artists to be seen in ways that haven't been, you know, done before. You know, it's just like, it's cool because everyone has like such a fair chance. And that's one thing that I've learned about TikTok is like, you know, however it's built so that you can go viral, it's like everyone has a fair shot if you do the right things. And like I don't even have the answers for the right things. It's just kind of arbitrary, but you know, you look at and you take notes from, you know, other people that have gone viral, and then you kind of like build off of that and you know, build it into a way that is going to like address to like a new group of fans, but also is going to like highlight your music and show a little bit who you are.
How long did it take from you having your first video go viral to getting yourself signed to a manager?
Yeah, that actually happened within the same year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like, cause I think that first viral video, the mashup, was like early March of 2020. I think it was March. Yeah, something around there, but maybe April. But yeah, and then later that October is when I found Sean, my manager. So yeah, he actually just reached out to me. It was like a cold email, and I was eating it up, and so I ended up calling him. We had like an hour-long phone call, and yeah, and so I was like, yeah, let's do it, baby.
Wow. And do you have any advice for people who are trying to get into music or content creation, social media, any of that?
Yeah, because I've been making content even before the mashups. Like I've just been doing all sorts of things, and like I used to be so scared to get in front of the camera and like show my face and stuff. You know, so it's been a learning process, but I think out of all the things that I've, you know, tried out making content is like, don't be afraid to just like, well, one, show your face, because people want a name to a face and they want to see like some personality, and like, you know, like they want to see like who this person is, you know, like so yeah, like don't be afraid to just kind of be yourself and, you know, I don't know, like find cool ways to like, you know, engage with your fans on top of, you know, not just being like, oh, new music out now, you know, like, you know, you want to like make almost like a conversation or something that your fans can like talk along with, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you say the next steps are? Like, what's next for you? I saw you have something coming out on Friday, Produce?
Yeah, Produce EP, that's coming out. So that's I think that is my second or third EP. That's the third EP. But yeah, this is probably the biggest EP for sure. And I'm excited because yeah, it's just got some great features on it. And yeah, it's really like it highlights the type of music that I'm trying to make for the future, you know, this like really groovy, funky disco shit.
When you're talking about like Kate Renata, S.G. Lewis, like Flume, that type of music?
Yeah, definitely. You know, like there's definitely like because I think some of the Focus songs are already out, like Bliss, Taste. Those are like 2 Focus singles on there. But yeah, just be on the lookout for like a bunch more like disco, funk, house vibes, you know, especially with this new EP. So
nice. No, I'm like I'm really into new disco right now. So
oh, cool.
Kind of like Pat Locke and like S.G. Lewis and those.
Oh yeah, no, those look all sick.
And where did the name Veggi Beats come from?
Yeah, so the name Veggi Beats actually came from something my friends used to call me, which was No Veggie Trevi.
What?
Yeah, I'll explain. So, like, everyone thinks like, oh, because I'm Veggi Beats, they think I'm vegetarian. I'm actually not. So, anyways, the name came from me actually not eating my vegetables. I was on top of all the on top of all the bands that I was doing, like concert band, whatever. I was a drummer in like an indie alt rock band for a hot sec, and yeah, we would always practice at the lead singer's house. And one night, lead singer's mom made us like a make your own tacos kind of setup, whatever. So you had like the meat and the cheese and the veggies, and like I was the only one that like dressed up my tacos without putting any lettuce or vegetables or whatever. And I don't know why they are all questioning it, but they're like, Trevor, why didn't you put any like vegetables on your tacos? And I just pulled out like the dumbest answer ever, and I was like, it's because they call me No Veggie Trevi.
Oh my god!
Like
it
was like
that?
Yeah, like I'm like I look back, I'm like that was so cringe, but like they're all dying laughing, like we're gonna call you that from now on.
How old were you?
Ooh, I think I was like either 15 or 16, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, it was just so funny. But yeah, and so all my friends just, well, at least in the band, were calling me No Veggie Trevi, and then I got shortened to Veggie, and the name just kind of stuck. And so I was like, oh cool, Veggie. Maybe I'll just call myself Veggie Beats.
Do your song names also come from that? Because I noticed produce is like, you know, like vegetable produce. Is that really?
Yeah. So produce is kind of like a double meaning thing, where it's like it's produce, like it's like the fruits or veggies of my labor. No, whatever.
Fruits of your labor.
Fruits of my labor. And but produce can also be looked at as like produce, I guess, like the word produce. Like I'm producing.
Oh, I see.
You know, this EP.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty much where that inspo came from.
Are the songs also veggie related?
No. I think it's just the EP name that was kind of veggie related.
That's so funny.
I know. It's just, you know, I don't know how this shit happens. It just kind of happens.
And you also had your first, like, you've been performing recently, right? Was it your first show? I wasn't sure if it was your first or you've been doing shows.
Yeah, so I have been doing shows, but this is like the first headline tour that I've been doing.
Wow, how's that been?
It's been amazing. I just got back from New York like 2 weeks ago. I'm heading to Chicago this Saturday, and then Bay Area is like the next week. But yeah, we're like rounding out the last few bits of this little headline tour, and it's been amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was your first tour. Was it everything you expected it to be, or were there like some moments where you were just surprised at?
It was like, I guess I didn't know what to expect, because most of these places I've never played in before, let alone have I ever been to the cities. Like I've never been to Austin, Texas. I've never been to New York. That was my first time actually.
Did you only go for like 2 days or you stayed longer?
No, I think I stayed for 4.
Nice.
4 days, yeah. So I got to see Times Square and everything. But yeah, like Chicago will be the same thing. It's like I've never been there before, and just a cool time to travel. But then also like, I don't know. It's at least with the New York show, it was so cool to see everyone. Sorry, the flies. That they're like, I see in my metrics that I have fans in New York, but then to see them actually show up is just like, oh my god, wow. That's amazing.
Damn.
Doing shows is so fun.
Yeah.
And like, although like, you know, I want people to come see me and like it's fun, I also want it to just feel like a party, you know, or like I'm just kind of DJing and like crafting a fun vibe for the night kind of thing. So
fun. I have one last question for you. What do you want to be remembered for?
Ooh, maybe like just this like blend of indie dance that I'm doing, because I feel like, you know, I have so many ideas, and you know, I guess like there's so many people, like I feel like Kate Trinata is a great example, you know, because he kind of has this very interesting blend. Like his sound is so unique, and like you'll like, you know, he's like, oh, Kate Trinata type beat, like you already have an idea of what that is in your head. Like it would be cool if like I had a similar, I guess, you know, like my name like had a specific like sound to it or something. Yeah. Kind of like that.
Okay, so you want your own like sound that people could recognize it's your song without knowing it's you.
Right.
Got it.
I think that'd be sick.
Cool. Well, thank you for jumping on today.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Peace.